What makes the Canadian Rockies so incredible is the abundance of fresh water that we have. We're blessed. We have some of the cleanest and clearest water I've ever seen anywhere in the world. Beautiful view of Mount Rundle with the Vermilion Lakes down at the bottom there. Our story starts in the spring, and here I came across a beautiful moment with this mother moose and her calf. And I was lucky because we were able to canoe up to this small island just between the mom and the bank. And we were actually able to get quite close. It is one of them. And I don't know if you know this, but it used to be the picture on the back of our Canadian $20 bill. It's no longer the picture on the back of our new bill, but if you get in old 20, you'll probably see it. And you find beauty in even the smallest places. I came across this group of hundreds of police. Many animals participate in that. This is a pack of gray wolves. There are 3 of them in this pack, and it's interesting because none of them are gray. Well, one of them is. But wolves. Here we are, beautiful Peyto Lake. Now, when you're up in the mountains, you do get lucky, and on your way to Jasper, quite often you'll see mountain goats. And goats are really amazingly adept to living in these climates, right down to the fur. Right now, they've still got a lot of the winter coat, which is starting to molt off, and they've got really spongy hoofs that are like climbing shoes in a way, and they're really well suited to being on rock and keeping them well gripped. This little guy's not exactly sure what to think of me being there. Now here's an example of how those hoofs are really good at keeping them on the rocks. He's got a little itch and he's on 3 legs and he's on a pretty precarious spot, but doesn't look the least bit bothered by it. And I love the spring because all the calves come out, and really, whether it's a calf in the wild or a baby animal anywhere, they've all got such wonderful personalities. And right now, it's just time to eat as much grass as possible and really fatten up and grow as quick as possible. They've got to be ready by the winter time to handle some pretty extreme climates. And you can see that these calves are very young, but they're still really agile. Now here we are up in Jasper. This is on Medicine Lake. Came across these 2 hoary marmots. Actually, there were about 3 of them, and they were just chowing down on dandelions, or what was left of them instead. And it's amazing how many animals feed on dandelions, but that is a real key. And of course, got a little chipmunk. Now this is a chipmunk. This looks a lot like a barred squirrel. The key difference is size. And there I was on my way to Jasper, and I look through the bushes and I see something moving, and it turns out to be a really beautiful black bear. Later in the end of the summer, so he's already starting to fatten up pretty good, preparing for his winter sleep, but nonetheless, a beautiful black bear. Again, with the fresh water, there's so many beautiful places. And this morning was spectacularly calm. You can just see the mountains reflected perfectly. Of course, all kinds of animals in the Rockies. I got lucky and got this trout. Now look at the beautiful felt on the antlers of this elk. He is going to be a monster come fall. And he's going to be a lot different than he is now. But right now, he's as gentle as can be. He's feeding on plants, leaves right now, just stripping them off. Just look at that. Just I really found that really fascinating how he was just peeling those right off the branches. And look at where he is. I mean, this is what makes the Rockies so incredible. It's such a great habitat for wildlife and even just for a person like me who likes to enjoy the outdoors. Now this elk was just moseying along now, and it is nature, and it is an environment that is unforgiving to the weak, so these guys have to become pretty good at living there. Here's I came around this hillside because these bears were walking down the hill, and so I hiked around, and I was lucky enough that I waited, and sure enough, these heads pop out of the flowers, and I think these are the most incredible bear shots that any videographer or photographer can
help the speaker lead his audience into the scene he described.
How cute is that?
By creating an imaginary picture. Usually it's something that moves.
I really enjoyed the time I got to spend with this little family because it was idyllic. They didn't have a worry. And as we move into fall, the wind kicks in. Fall is a time when there's an urgency, and with rams in particular, the urgency is in the rut. This is on the way up to Jasper National Park. It's one thing to see rams in the summertime, but in the fall, to witness them in the rut is an incredible experience. Look at these two males face off, and the rest of the group has to join in. There's a lot of challenging going on.
So then, why?
In this particular rut, the male on the right is clearly victorious. Look at the size of those horns. These osprey nest here every year, so if you get a chance, check it out. Now we're in the end of summer, and but Mom is still feeding this chick that's pretty much the same size. Oh, and this was incredible. I was in BC on my way back from Radium, and I saw this big grizzly bear off in the distance. He's really fattened up for the coming hibernation, and it is late in the season. This is near the end of October, but there's not a lot of snow on the ground, so he's still got a lot of opportunity to try to get those extra calories in. And today he seems to be out looking for roots.